Hello everyone, welcome to our video. In this video, we're going to present the using of substitute sugar to reduce the sugar tax. I'm Vincent, and here is my groupmate. So, what is sugar tax? Simply put, sugar tax is a tax on ready-to-drink sugar sweetened beverage, which was implemented by our government on 1st July 2019. The purpose of implementing sugar tax is to let people have a healthier lifestyle to solve the diabetes and obesity problem in Malaysia. This measure will lead to a higher price of high sugar drink and reduce the consumer desire to buy them. This measure applies to all non-alcohol beverage containing sugar or sweetener. When the sugar content in the beverage exceeds 5 grams per 100 ml, a sugar tax of 40 cents per liter will be charged. Conversely, beverage with less than 5 grams of sugar per 100 ml are exempt for the sugar tax. However, it's necessary to obtain the experimental analysis report and comply with the requirement of the Director General of Customs. Sugar substitute, also known as artificial sweetener, and are a food additive. It provides sweetness without adding extra calories. At the same time, it is much sweeter than ordinary sugar, usually hundreds of times sweeter. It only needs to add a small amount to the food to achieve the desired sweetness. So, why we need sugar substitute? Because we want to reduce the sugar tax by reducing the amount of sugar we use. But at the same time, we don't want to lose the sweetness of our beverage. Here are two artificial sweeteners we choose. They are aspartame and stevia. Aspartame is composed of aspartic acid and phenylalanine. It is about 180 to 200 times sweeter than sugar. There are more than 300 studies and agencies that can provide aspartame is safe for consumer, except the individual with phenylketonuria. Next is stevia. Stevia, scientifically known as Stevia ribaldina botany, is 200 to 350 times sweeter than sugar. The high purity stevioglycoside is safe for consumption.
Here are our methodology. We have come up with 3 types of beverage such as lemonade, tea, and soda water. Starting with cutting lemon and squeeze all the juice out using a juicer to make lemonade. We then measure 13 grams of tea powder on a weighing balance, and pouring about 1 liter of hot water for our tea. We then compare table sugar with aspartame and stevia leaf to find the best substitute for normal sugar.
We have compiled the responses from the survey and all the scores were averaged and showcased as results. There are 2 different results. Result 1, compare the sweetness level of sugar, stevia and aspartame in different beverages. Result 2, compare the sweetness level of stevia and aspartame only. Here, result 1 shows the average sweetness score of different sweetness in carbonated drink, lemonade and tea. It was observed that sugar accumulated the lowest sweetness score in all of the drinks compared to aspartame and stevia, with the score of 4.5 for carbonated drink, 3.2 for lemonade and 6.3 for tea. Aspartame and stevia both scored 10 for all the drinks, but we need to focus that weight of 5 grams was used for both stevia and aspartame, which was said to be too much for the volume of beverages were prepared during the experiments. So, for the results, only 0.025 grams of stevia and aspartame was used to prepare the beverages. Result 2 shows 2 different charts for stevia and aspartame obtained from the survey. It was observed that stevia managed to obtain higher score than aspartame in beverages of lemonade and carbonated drink with the score of 2.8 and 4.2. However, for tea drink, aspartame got the highest sweetness score of 4.7, but the difference in score in tea drink of aspartame and stevia wasn't significant. They only had a difference of 0.2. So, what can we conclude from this?
Stevia is a natural non-caloric sweetener, which means that it is a sweetener with a very low calorie or zero calorie alternative that provides minimal or no carbohydrate or energy, while aspartame is a caloric sweetener, which means that it contains carbohydrate and provides energy. Sucrose has 4 calories per gram, which is the same value as aspartame. However, aspartame is 200 times sweeter than sucrose. Therefore, the amount needed in a drink are much lower in order to create the same level of sweetness, whereas stevia has 300 times sweetness level than normal sugar and with 0 calorie. This is helpful in decreasing the price of the drink since it will not be charged by sugar tax. Amount of sugar needed in a drink for sugar tax to be applied is depending on the type of beverages. For example, a minimum of 12 grams per 100 ml of sugar is needed in order for sugar tax to be applied, which costs around 40 cents per liter for fruit juices. Aspartame and stevia can reach the same level of sweetness of 12 grams of normal sugar with lower amount. Therefore, it could lower the cost of the drink since sugar tax were not charged. So how does it work? Since aspartame is 200 times sweeter than normal sugar, 1 gram of aspartame can match the sweetness level of 200 grams of sucrose. And since the minimum amount of sugar needed for sugar tax to be applied is 12 grams, only 0.06 gram of aspartame are needed in order to have the sweetness level of 12 grams of sugar. The same thing can be applied to stevia, which can be even more sweeter than aspartame, since it only takes 0.04 of stevia to match the same sweetness level of 12 grams of sucrose. Another benefit of stevia and aspartame might help with weight loss or control, and could also have beneficial metabolic effect. The statement also points out, however, that this potential benefit will not be fully realized if there is a compensatory increase in energy intake from other sources. However, more research is needed in order to confirm the long-term effect of this sugar substitute on body weight. Stevia and aspartame might also help those who are trying to reduce calorie and try to reduce calorie intake slowly.
In carbonated drinks, aspartame is the most widely used sweetener due to its properties such as low calorie and intense sweetening effect. As for tea, according to the consumer preference of sweetener done in the previous studies, it is found that sucrose was the most preferred sweetener, followed by aspartame. Furthermore, aspartame is also far more expensive than sucrose and it has a slight aftertaste which many dislikes. Hence, it is not a suitable replacement for sugar. In lemonade, there is not much difference between aspartame and sucrose, with the only exception of how well they reduce thirst. When taken with a meal, aspartame is able to significantly reduce thirst compared to sucrose-sweetened drink. In carbonated drinks, it is found that when sucrose is replaced with stevia, the amount of calorie is reduced by 42.9%. This shows that stevia is an excellent substitute for sugar in carbonated drinks. As for tea, many people have been using stevia leaves as sugar substitute in their tea, especially South Americans, since stevia plant is native to them. Furthermore, since stevia contains no calorie at all, it is also the best option for diabetic patients. In lemonade, according to Galo, it is found that when lemonade drink is added with stevia extract, it receives good acceptability rating from the consumers.
To conclude, the average sweetness value of 0.025 gram of aspartame and stevia in carbonated, lemonade, and tea has only slight difference in their average sweetness when compared to 5 gram of sugar in all drinks. Hence, 0.025 gram of aspartame and stevia could give the equivalent sweetness as 5 gram of sugar in beverages. Therefore, both aspartame and stevia have the potential to substitute the sugar in beverage and solve the problem of sugar tax in this case.